everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jessica, and today hopefully I will get all of this done. I have my final inventory for you. We are doing eyes today. It's going to depend on how quickly I can get through this, if I'm going to get the eyeshadows done or not, because it is getting late and I need to get some stuff filmed, and I still have to edit and make sure this is up on time. So let's get into this eye inventory. Wow, I had words issues. So I am going to be starting with my eye primers. These are the only two eye primers that I currently own, and they do different things. So I'm okay with these two. I had my eye primer set at 5 or below, which I am there, and I'm really okay with just these two. I have the Essence I Heart Stage, which is just a basic eye primer. Nothing fancy. I would like to get some work on this in the new year, but I don't know if I can finish it or not. There's a lot of product in this one. It is 4 mils, and for eye primer, that's quite a bit. And then this one is the NYX Glitter Primer, and I don't know how much is in this. It looks like it's 0.03 ounces, so 10 mils. Wow. They're both going to be around for a little bit. I'm okay with this. This to me is goals, and I am there, and I am very happy for that. Next up, we have my colored brow products. And again, I want to keep it 5 or under. These are the only 4 that I own, so I'm very happy about that. I have this one, which is basically like a pomade in a stick form. And I do have this in a project. I just haven't really used it yet. And then I have this one, which is the Lock On Liner and Brow, or Brow and Liner from e.l.f. It is old, but it still works. I have used it in this calendar year, and I do like it. And I'm not sure I like it for my brows, but I think it's a learning curve with this one, and I just haven't learned that curve yet. So I'm going to keep it in my brow category. These two function in a very similar fashion, and then these two are from the Profusion Eyes Trendsetter palette. So we've got a darker brown and a lighter brown, which you can see I have very good progress on the darker brown. I really need to put one of these into a project for the new year, probably the one I've been working on, and see if I can get that one used up. So even though it's not currently slated for a project, I do think it probably will go into one. And then it would be really nice if I can get these two finished up, and then I would be left with just these two. This is my extensive brow gel collection. While 2 of these do offer color, they are more for keeping your eyebrows in place as opposed to just color. So that's why these are in a slightly separate category. So this one is from Benefit. It is the Precisely My Brow Wax. And I am currently working on this. I know this will be done in 2025. I don't know that I can get another one done in 2025. And I apologize for the background noise, but my kids are watching Gremlins 2, and they are having a blast out there. So you might hear them being a little bit loud. But I do think this one will be done in the new year. I will probably start working on one of these two. They are about the same age, so it doesn't really matter to me which one I work on. But as long as I'm continuing to work on stuff and getting the older stuff used up, then I am going to be very happy with this category. Okay, on to eyeliner pencils. I have them broken down from eyeliner pencils, I have liquid eyeliners, and then I have potted eyeliner. So these are just my pencils. I would like to have 5 or under because this is too many. I love eyeliner, but I don't need quite this many. And 5 gives me the opportunity to have multiple colors, but more than 5 I think is just too much, a little excess for me personally. So I have in projects, not in projects. This one is just in for usage. It is an old Wet n Wild in the shade turquoise. This one is Kulfi Tiger Queen, which I absolutely love. This is going to be done this calendar year. I am sure of it. It is just that stinking close. Next up, we have the Starlux Gem Pencil in Ultra Olive. I don't remember which project this is in. It is not going to be done this calendar year, but even if it's in a project that ends this year, I will be rolling this into a project in the new year because I just want to get it done. I love it, and I want to use it while I love it. And it's really, really stinking easy to use. So this is definitely going to be done in the new year. So I think I'm going to have these 2 done for sure. This one this year, this one next year. This one will take like 67 more years to get done, but what are you going to do? All right. These are the ones I'm not currently working on. I have a duo from Ulta. This one is just like navy blue. I want to say it's called In the Navy or something like that. That's from NYC or New York Color, which doesn't even exist anymore. This one is Bathwater from Give Beauty. That is beautiful. This one I got as a gift with purchase from Essence because I really just didn't need another black eyeliner, but they send it to you and you don't know about it. What are you going to do? And then I have these three. These are the sharpenable ones from ColourPop, if I can even get the lid off. And I probably will work on these once this one is done because these are creamy enough that you can use as a base or you can use them as an eyeliner. So those might get used in the new year. Another one that is really black that I really don't need. This one's from Coastal Scents. And again, I think I got this one as a gift with purchase and it's still sealed. And Coastal Scents has been not a thing since, I want to say 2020 or 2021. So yeah, that tells you how old that is. But again, it's sealed. And this one is from Mally. It is in the shade Midnight. That's what it looks like. This is not currently in a project, but I can tell you, I will be using this one in a new year. It's already slated for another project, and that project intro has already been filmed. You'll be seeing it probably tomorrow. So yeah, that one's going to be done in the new year. So realistically, I can have 3 of the 12 done, and that's going to put me a little bit closer. I may get to some of these other ones, but even if I get this one done this year and these 2 done next year, I feel like that's pretty darn good progress for me, so I'll be happy with that. Now on to my potted eyeliners. I currently own 9, and I'm working on 2 of them. However, this one from e.l.f. these are cream eyeliners. I have a bunch here. This one I just have in a project for usage, and it's not going to make a huge dent. These things are going to last me an absolute lifetime, so it's not going to be done anytime soon. I'm going to have to put these in projects just for usage, like number of usage or something like that, because they're going to take forever. So I have black, I think this one's copper, if I can get that open. I think that's copper. Yes, that one is really pretty. I have metallic olive. That is the only one that doesn't have pan in it. So that one could go in a project to hit pan. So like I could put this in pie or something like that. Pan and everything. This one is gunmetal. I love this shade. And then the other one is purple, punk purple, something like that. And that one's really pretty as well. But it does not take a lot of product every time you use it. So they're going to take forever. These are all 4 from the Profusion Eyes Trendsetter palette that I depotted many years ago. I have navy, black, and this one's a really dark brown. And then this one is technically a metallic purple. I have this in my No Buy Project pan. Sorry about the voice. It's my allergies kicking my booty again. But this one is going to stay in the project until it is done. And I'm hoping that I can get this done in 2025. This is the only one that I have hopes of getting done in the new year. And I will probably focus on these 2, or these 3, I should say, over here before I work on the e.l.f. because they're about the same age, but these don't have lids. And as you can see with the purple, when I put it in a magnetic palette with powdered products like eyeshadows or anything like that, it does get into there. And that's not cool. So I will focus on this one for the new year, and then afterwards I'm going to start focusing on these, with these just putting them in projects here or there to get usage on them so that they don't just sit there being unused. So that is everything for my potted eyeliners. This is my absolutely huge collection of liquid liners. I know it's kind of comical that I have 3 because I am not a liquid liner girl. I just don't use it because I've always had pencils or like gel or cream liners. I don't dislike liquid liners. I just had other ones that I used first, and I forget about these. These take precision, and I'm not a precision kind of girl. I'm like, I like to smudge my liners and do all that kind of stuff. And I have to be really careful with liquid liners because then I have to get my wing straight. And, you know, you start with a cute, tiny little wing, and then you try to straighten one side and then the other, and then your wings become like massive. And I struggle with that. So I don't avoid liquid liners, but I don't really gravitate towards them. And every single one that I have here was given to me in PR, and they've not been used at all, which is kind of sad because I have the Lash Rocket liner, and that one is from Freck Beauty. Apparently you can use this to also do freckles, but I'm not that girl either. And then this one is Revlon Color Stay Exactify and the Bare Minerals Maximist. So those are it. I have no plans on working on these in the new year because I really want to focus on some of my other ones, but I probably should work on these at some point. I currently own 3 whole mascaras. I know, it's a lot. This is the one I'm currently working on. It's the Essence Get Big Lashes Triple Black Mascara. This one from Essence is in a project. It is the Get Big Lashes Volume Boost. And this one is on its last legs. You can see it's pretty worn out. I use it all the time. And I like it. I don't love it. But it is definitely getting drier. And I can only refresh it so many times before I notice that it will start to flake. And we're getting to that point where I don't know if I can refresh it effectively anymore. So this one may be done before the end of the year or like the first week or so of January. Then this one is the one that I will start working on. So that leaves this lonely little mascara that I got in PR. The packaging is so crazy looking to me in a very neat way. So this is probably going to end up in a project, or if not in a project, it's going to be used in the new year. I don't expect any of these to be around by the end of 2025 because I do go through quite a few mascaras in a year, depending on how big they are, anywhere from 3 to 7 mascaras. So I don't think these are going to be around to see the end of 2025. Maybe not even the end of 2024 for this one. This is kind of an odd little category. I have it as my pressing category, but this is really the only pressing agent that I own. It's the Easy Press. This was from Coastal Scents, though you can get a pressing medium from a lot of different places. I think TKB Trading has it. And this one is literally just isododocane, which is one of the main ingredients in the Inglot Duraline, and it works pretty much exactly the same as Duraline, only this is a heck of a lot cheaper, and this is 2 fluid ounces of it. So I will use this to refresh things that are not a water-based like the Jelly Much and are not oil-based, much like the Super Shocks. I can use a face oil for those. So everything else I can use this for, and yeah, rather inexpensively. So these are not things that I am attempting to use up. These are just useful things to have in my collection. And yeah, they're going to take a while to get them done, but I'm okay with that. Moving on to my loose eyeshadows. Yes, I'm going to start on the eyeshadows. Again, don't know if I'm going to get to palettes or not tonight, but I'm hoping to. This is going to be quite a bit of loose eyeshadows. It is not all right here in front of me. You will see another screen that I will add in next. But I have tons of Bare Minerals. These are Bare Minerals. These are Bare Minerals. All of these and these, as well as these miniature ones right here. These are the mini sizes. I'm not working on these currently, and they're going to roll everywhere. And then all of these smaller ones, actually, you know what? These are Bare Minerals here as well. I should probably move those if I can get a hold of one. Not sure why I had those mixed up. Apologize for my big old arm being in the way. So all of these minis and all of these minis are from Coastal Scents. They used to be in little baggies, and I did get some in these containers. I ran out of containers, and I still have tons of baggies, and I'm not going to try to buy any more containers because that was a long time ago that I did that, and I'm not that invested in it. Once I use some of these up, then I can reuse the containers once I clean them out, but these take a long time to go through. So I am not worried about working on any of these right now. These 3 lonely ones are the only ones I am currently working on, which is kind of crazy. This was Bare Minerals Lime, so it was one of these big ones like this. And I used the Easy Press pressing medium, and it's been frankened. That has been recently frankened. This is a Reuben Coral Pearl Mica. So that was in a little baggie originally, probably was in this type of a packaging at some point, and this one is Winterveld. So these I am hoping to have done in the new year. I don't know if anything, I don't think any of these are going to be done this year. This one is in the Painter's Pan. That one is definitely going to be done in the new year. It's in a rollover project. I want to say this one is also in a rollover project, and I'm pretty sure Winterveld is in my BYOP. and it's going to continue on in the new year. It's going to make the cut on the refresh. So I'm hoping all 3 of these will be done in 2025. All right, let me get these put away and then I will set up the rest of my loose stuff. Here are some more of my loose eyeshadows. A lot of these are components to making like mineral shadows or even pressed shadows, but these are not shadows in and of themselves. They need to be assembled with the correct ingredients. So these are basically the ingredients to make powder, or to make some type of powdered eyeshadow. All right, so all the ones that are white are for like slip, adhesion, that kind of stuff, whereas the colors are obviously to create a colored product. I have so many different things here, and this isn't even all of it. These are all 4-ounce jars, which is kind of crazy. It's going to take me forever to go through these, but I do use these also sometimes when I have like a shadow that's misbehaving and maybe it's a little patchy or whatever. I can add what I need to add to it, or if I want to franken a color, if I don't have a shadow in my rotation to franken it how I want it, sometimes I will use these oxides, ultramarines, micas, you name it. I can make what I need to with what I have here. But wait, there's more. This should be the last of the loose eyeshadow that I have, and yeah, it's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. I have some plain mica powder here, some glitters, and I've gotten some from Coastal Scents, some from TKB. These are all just varying little baggies. These are what I would put into those little containers in the first portion of the loose eyeshadow. So yeah, they're in this packaging now. So yeah, I got a lot of those. And then I have this one. This one is from TKB Trading, and this is just a matte texture base. So if I want to make a matte eyeshadow, I can use this base. It has all of the things to give you the slip and the adhesion that you would probably want. And then you just add your oxides, ultramarines, mica pigments, that kind of stuff to this to make your matte eyeshadow. I tell you, I got a ton of stuff and I like to play with it, but I definitely have way too much. But this tells you when I franken that I really enjoy being that little mad scientist. I like to create these types of things and just play around. So that is why I have all of them, and I really need to start using some of them. It's a lot. And because I forgot to give you numbers before I cleared everything off of this, I currently own 154 loose eyeshadows as far as, and I have them under singles, eyeshadow singles. So even like that big bag of like the matte texture base, I have that in as a single because it's one singular item. But you know, it's going to make a heck of a lot more than one eyeshadow. But I had to have it in my inventory as something. So like I said, currently I am sitting at 154 loose eyeshadow singles. Moving on to my cream eyeshadows, you can see I have in multiple forms. I have like the tube, liquid, whatever, sticks, more tubes, potted. I've got it all. So this is what I'm not working on. This is what I am currently working on. This is from Lucky Chick. It is Dusty Lab. I have this one in just for usage. That one is not going to be done anytime soon, but I love it. So I might end up putting it in a project for next year. I might not. I'm not sure, because I have in this Urban Decay Liquid Moon Dust, and I am attempting to finish this in the new year. I don't know if it can be done, but I'm going to try, and I'm kind of worried if I put anything else like that in there, it might take away from usage on this one. And I would love to have this one done. You can see I have a lot of good progress on this one. Crossing my fingers that that can be done in the new year. This one is from Collab. This one is currently in a project to finish. Actually, I might have done the finale on this one, but it is in my 50-50. It's not going to be done this year, and I'm kind of sad about that. I'll even show you what I have left in it. It's not a ton, but there's not enough time left in the year for me to finish that. So this is going to be a January empty, I'm sure, because I know I will put this into a project because it's just too close not to finish. I have 2 Jelly Much in a rollover project to finish. I don't know if that's going to happen. I've never finished a Jelly Much, so I don't know how long they are going to take. And to think that I'm going to finish 2 is kind of absurd. And I don't expect them to be done in the new year, even though I'm technically attempting to do it. So we will wait and see on those. And then the ones that I'm not currently attempting to pan, this one is from Physicians Formula, Give Beauty. This one is from City Colors. It's like a mousse texture in white gold. I've got the e.l.f. smudge pots here, 5 of those. 2 of the long-lasting lustrous eyeshadows. You can see the colors here on the bottom. More Jelly Much here. These are, I apologize for the motorcycle starting up across the street. So all of the ColourPop Jelly Much, ColourPop glitters, ColourPop Super Shock shadows, and then these are from Vanny Cosmetics. Those are pressed glitters. So yeah, I have a lot. I have a total of 48, and I know 1 is going to be done, and maybe 2 next year. That would be awesome. I do not have, on any of my eyeshadows, I do not have a goal. Like a lot of my categories are 5 or 10 or whatever. Much like perfumes or nail polishes or whatever, I don't have an absolute goal on these. I know when I have too many, but I don't know how many is too many, if that makes sense. I'm not mad about this category at all. I don't necessarily want it to grow, but I'm okay with what I own. But I do want to use up some of the older stuff because I don't want it to go bad. So I will continue to work on these even without a goal in mind. So that is my cream eyeshadow singles, and I will be getting my powdered eyeshadow singles here in a second. This hot mess is all of my single pans of eyeshadow, powdered eyeshadows, if you will. I will show everyone this because I did have someone request that I show palettes and stuff like that. So I'm going to assume that's going to include all of my eyeshadows, and I don't have a problem with that at all because that comment did get some thumbs up. So let's do this. So first off, I have this one from Stila. It's Golden Topaz. It is pretty. I will eventually use this, but that is not on my radar for panning in the new year, but it will be soon because I've had this one for a little bit and it needs to get used up. Of course, I have a lot of eyeshadow that needs to get used up. This one is just crushed, and that's why it's by itself. I had pressed this. It is from Coastal Scents, I believe. It is a mica pigment, and clearly I did not use enough binder, so it shattered in there. So I'm keeping it in there so it is safe. And I'm going to put that off to the side. I will repress that. Who knows? Maybe I'll save that for a Franken Friday, and I will show you how I use the binder to do that. So let's get into these right here. These are really old e.l.f. singles, and I may use some in the new year. I don't know. I really have not planned out my eyeshadows other than I have just decided what my Pan That Palette and Better Together are going to be, but I won't tell you today. You will have to wait until the first of the year for that one. But these are all e.l.f. singles as far as like the 26mm pans. I do have some more e.l.f. singles in here mixed with a bunch of other stuff. So these 4 are e.l.f. singles, these rectangles. These are all Bare Minerals that I have pressed into pans. These 2 and these 2 are Coastal Scents mica pigments that I have pressed into pans. And then all of these other round ones are Coastal Scents hot pots. Let's move on to the next one. Coastal Scents hot pots here and here. There's a lot of them. I own quite a few of those. Some more Coastal Scents hot pots here. A lot of reds and purples. These used to be very well organized, and I just ran out of time when I'm putting stuff back after I've used something, and now they're just a hot mess. It all needs to be cleaned up. So more Coastal Scents hot pots, though this one was a mineral eyeshadow from Coastal Scents. Look at that, more Coastal Scents hot pots. Who would have thought? My yellows and oranges. And this one might be a Bare Minerals that got mixed in there because that texture looks different, and that might be one of the golds that I had from Bare Minerals. Don't quote me on that one. Let me get these out of the way. And then this is all Looksy, and these are Looksy. I do have some that are currently in projects. I will show you those, but I wanted to show you all of the ones that are not in projects first. So give me a minute to clean this up, put them away, and then I will show you the stuff that is currently in projects. I think these are the only singles that I currently have in projects, and they are split for a reason, because these 5 are all Looksy shadows, and I'm only working on these for usage. These are not intended to finish. Some of them are to hit pan, some are just for a certain number of uses. And then these are all to finish. These three here are all Coastal Scents Hot Pots, and this one is from CoverGirl. I want to say it's called Pink Chiffon. And these I am hoping to finish in the new year. And again, if they're currently in a project that is not rolling over, these will probably be put into other projects because I do want to have those finished in the new year. Not a ton of singles that I'm working on, but if I can get 4 more done, that would be nice. I currently own 220, which is a lot of singles, especially since I split them up between loose and like cream, liquid, whatever, and powder. So yeah, I should get a move on. But again, I don't have goals for this category, so I'm just going to enjoy them and then see where it goes. So these are the ones that I am currently working on, and let me put these away. And I believe we are up to palettes next, which will be kind of cool. Let's start with the ColourPop palettes. And we're working on my smaller palettes, which is Duos up to Quince. And then after I get all of those done, then we're going to work on my palettes that have 6 shadows or more. So this is the only one from ColourPop that I'm currently working on. It is Sunday Fun Day. And I am attempting to hit pan on one of these shadows. And it's in a project where it doesn't matter which one I hit as long as I hit a pan in here. And as you can see, I am not far along with that. So this will not be finished in the new year, but I will hopefully have a pan in this one in the new year. All right, for my quads, I have Gimme Sugar, has not been touched, which is a darn shame. This one is Waffle Cone, again, not touched. Such beautiful colors. And this one is The Secret Life of Scorpio. I have used this one. This came shattered and I had to repress this one, but I have used most of these shades. It is beautiful and I love it. Not planning on panning those in the new year, but I am not going to be telling you which one I am planning for my Pan That palette or my Better Together, but it's not going to be a quad. I can tell you that. All right. These are my Quince. This one is Lyric. I have the glitter in a project right now. I don't remember if it's to finish or to hit pan. I think it's just to hit pan. And for this one, this is Amore. And again, the glitter is in a project to hit pan. So those are missing a shadow. This one is Ballad. This was a contender for, it still technically is a contender for my Pan That palette. I am not, until I finish, and until I film, I should say, I have not decided which one I am going to pan this year. What did I say this one was? I didn't. It's Cherish. That one's really pretty. And this one is Crush. Very warm tone. Then we have the green one, which is High Society. Digital Playground, and I always want to call it Digital Underground, but it's Digital Playground, and you can see I have one pan in here already. This one is Cashmere Forever, and I do have a pan on this one. New Millennium, I don't think I've touched this one at all. And this one I have played with. It has some decent usage on it. It's Too Haute, and I have some usage here. I don't think I used the red more than a couple of times. There's barely any disturbance there, but a few of them have some decent progress on them, but no pans. All right, this one is from Hema, and I have only 3 shades left in here. I had pulled these 2 out of the palette, and these were in my BYOP either last year or earlier in this year. I do still have the pans. I just think I might have something else pressed into them, but this was originally only 5 shadows. There's 3 left in that one. I may consider working on this one in the new year. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that yet. Then I have, this was a quad. This was from Be a Bombshell. It is the Bora Bora quad. I've had this a while. It needs to get done. I have 3 things from Laura Geller. I have this right here, which is the Tiramisu trio, and then this one is, I have to see which one's which. So this one is key lime and green apple, and I just stuck my fingernail in it. And this one is unearthed and Dutch chocolate. All right, here are some more that are 5 and under. This one is the Pacifica Duo. It is currently in a project. It is not going to be finished, but I do think I'm going to put this in a project for the new year because I would love to have this done. So we'll see how that one works out. This one is from Pat McGrath. It is the Eye Ecstasy Subversive palette, and I do have 2 pans in this one. There's been usage in these, but no pan yet. And this one is the Pure Cosmetics by Nabella, whoever the heck that is, I don't know. And this one is like a face and eye palette, and there are 4 eyeshadows in here, and then the 4 face products. So this is in my inventory under palettes, but you know, I have things spread out because I like to itemize my individual products, so it's kind of here and it's kind of there, but only 4 shadows in there, so it falls in my 2 to 5 eyeshadow palette category. I believe this was the last one. Apologize for the noise. This was the last one for my 2 to 5 palettes, so let me get my 6 and above out. I'm going to attempt to be somewhat alphabetical here so I can follow my spreadsheet. When we get to the depotted stuff, it's going to be a little bit more difficult because I have multiple brands in my magnetic palettes, but we're going to try to stay as alphabetical as possible. So first up is the Alter Ego Temptress palette. This is what I have left. This shadow was depotted and finished. This one is finished. I do have 3 other pans in here. This is the dupe of the ABH Sultry palette, and I actually like this palette better. I feel like the formula is better on this one, especially on the shimmers, and someday I will get to panning this one, but right now it's just going to be hanging out for a while. Next up is Bare Minerals Mineralist palette, and this is the Sunlit version, and that is what that one looks like. I do have 1 pan, minimal usage on these, but I have used them, and it is a nice formula. And who knows, maybe this one will be used next year. Moving on to BH Cosmetics, I do have one that is depotted, which I'll show you in a moment. But I have Avocado Toast, which has a little bit of usage. I do have 4 pans in it here, and minimal usage on the rest of it. I do really like that palette a lot. The Mimosa palette, and I have 2 pans on this one. Lost in Los Angeles. I've got 1 shadow completed, and then I have 2 pans and a little bit of usage on a few of these, but not most of them. I'm not going to say the name of this. It's Let That Stuff Go. And let me open this up so you can see. I do have 1 pan here, and some of these I haven't touched at all yet. Love the color story. Don't like the name on the palette. And then the BH Cosmetics Wild and Free palette. This one is a baked eyeshadow palette, and surprisingly, I have the most use on the blue. I have used every single shade in here multiple times. And sorry about Greta's making some noise behind me. I really kind of want to pan this, but it's baked eyeshadow, and I know it's going to take a very long time. I feel like this is one of those palettes I'm going to have to do 1 shade at a time, or do a bunch of usage to get it to a point where I think I can finish it in a year. But I do really like this, and this one is very sentimental to me because it was sent to me from Brown Eyed Girl Charisse many moons ago, and I really miss seeing her on YouTube. She came back briefly, and now she's gone again, and I miss her, and I really hope she comes back. But yeah, this is a beautiful palette. And then in my depotted, I might as well go over everything that is in here. This is the one from BH Cosmetics. This is from the Bubs Beauty Bee palette. I've got an e.l.f. It might be like the Everyday Smoky or Mad for Mad. I don't remember exactly which one it is. I have 2 different NYX palettes, and one is street style, if I could speak, and the other one is Femme Fatale, I think is what it's called. And then this is the depotted Too Faced Chocolate Bonbons palette, and I have 1 eyeshadow left from the Profusion Eyes Trendsetter palette that I'm not currently working on, and I do have one that I am currently working on, and it is a black shade, which if I remember, I will show it to you, but it is just, it looks a lot like this, only it's black instead of dark brown. So that is my BH Cosmetics with a few random depotted. On to Bobbi Brown. This is the only palette I think I have from Bobbi Brown, and this is the Luxe Metal Rose. I have two shadows finished in here. One has pan, and I really enjoy this palette. These three are cream shadows, and then these three are matte shadows. This pulls very warm on my olive skin tone, and I have cool olive skin, so yeah, warm stuff looks even warmer on me for some reason. I guess it's the contrast, but yeah, this is a really nice palette. I should play with that more. And then I have my two Coastal Scents 88 palette, or my two Coastal Scents palettes. This one's the 88 palette, and you can see it's like mostly greens and a few little blues left in that one. And then the Winterberry palette, which is mostly purples. It's very, very pretty. This one is Amethyst, and I actually own this in a single as well as in this palette. I have a couple of them that are in this palette that I own singles of, that I had the singles before I got the palette, but you know, purples. I like purples. So that is my Bobbi Brown and Coastal Scents palettes. These are my ColourPop palettes. Again, these are just 6 and above. So I have Blush Crush, very beautiful palette. I have Cherry Crush that I have not even used. I actually had to pull it out of its box so that I could open it up easily on camera. This one is Main Squeeze. More reds. Wine and Only, which of course is all wine shades. A couple of those shattered on me and I had to repress those. Honey, which has some usage on it. I have 2 pans here, and of course this one was the glitter that I finished. That is so worn off. This one is the Disney Tinkerbell Sprinkle a Little Magic, and that one is stunning. I love those greens. So pretty. It needs to get used. Of course, we've got the California Love. Some usage here, and then I have on Gnarly, I have some pan. Whatever. I got a pan here on Duh, which is the glitter, and then not a ton of usage on the other ones, which I think this one is a Super Shock, so I really probably should be using that one before it dries up and gets nasty. This one is Disney Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. Love this palette. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pans, and no usage on any of the ones without pan. It is a great palette though, and this is the Disney's Hocus Pocus Witching Hour palette. I think this was the second Hocus Pocus collab. And again, I have 3 pans, and everything else without pan hasn't been touched except for Twist the Bones. I've used that once or twice. Moving on to my e.l.f. palettes. These two are baked, and this one is a hot mess. This one is actually in a project just for usage. It is the Smoke Prism eyeshadow palette. It is busted. As you can see, it is breaking up here. I really should just depot this and press these into empty pans. Someday I will do that. Again, that might happen for a Franken Friday. It might happen. And then these are both baked. This one is Seattle, which is purples and silvers. Look at what it's done. And this one is California, which is a lot of gold tones. And this one is busted up as well. What are you going to do? This is what is left of my Essence palettes. I have the Essence Fairy Wings and Magical Things palette. I love this one. I am currently working on this yellow shade called Fireflies just for usage, so that is not going to be done anytime soon. I have not decided what I'm going to do with these Essence palettes for the new year. This is I Like to Mauve It, Mauve It. That is what is left of that one. Coral Me Maybe. Only 4 shadows left. A lot of usage on that one. And Dancing Green probably has the least amount of usage. And that is what she looks like. I have only 2 palettes from Glamlight. These were sent to me by my friend Misty. And I have the Pizza palette, which I am currently working on, just Basil. And that one is just for usage. I don't remember if it's a number of uses or to hit pan, but it is not to finish. I have pan here and here, here and here. So 4 pans and 1 empty. not too bad. Massive, massive palette. And then the Pizza Veggie Lovers, and I have 2 pans in this one. So love these palettes. They're a lot of fun, and I actually really like the formula on these. I have some one-off palettes here. This is the Huda Beauty Amethyst Obsessions palette. I will not open this one because it is my current pan that palette, and I am going to save that for the finale. And yeah, so there is that one. This one is the Mange Professional 18 shade eyeshadow palette. Words. This one has a ton of usage on it. I have 4 shades that are done, and the 14 remaining all have pan on them. It's a lovely palette, and hopefully this will get some use in the new year. There's not a shade in here I dislike, which makes it nice. We've got a lot of neutrals and warms and browns, so that's always a positive thing. And then this one, I should really get some more use on this. It is from Juvia's Place. It is the Nubian Glow palette, and this was sent to me by Danny many moons ago. I have used every shade in here multiple times, but it doesn't look like I've used much of it. And it's just so stinking pretty. I don't know why I don't use it more. I mean, I know why I didn't this year, because I was working on a ton of oranges and I just didn't need any more oranges to work on. But it is so pretty. I really should spend some more time with this one. I've got 2 different brands here. On this side, I have Revolution palettes and then Marc Jacobs. I am not going to open Marc Jacobs because this is my current Better Together palette, and I really don't want to spoil it until the finale. So that one I'm currently working on. And then these 2 from Revolution. This one is the Tasty Avocado palette. Looks like that. I do have a couple of pans, some good usage here, and this one is done. And this one I think is Reloaded. Yes, Reloaded Provocative palette. Every single shade in here has pan on it, which is nice. This is the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette, very depotted, and it's a little wonky in here. I do have one shade that is currently in a project for usage, but that will not be completed this year, so that is going to be back in here in no time, I'm sure. So this is the only Morphe palette that I own, and I was going to say currently own, but I don't intend to own any other Morphe palettes unless someone gifts it to me. It is not something I'm going to purchase. This probably looks a little strange because we know this is a magnetic palette, but this is what I have left of the Real Her Be Your Own Kind of Beauty palette. I just have 5 of the 9 shades in here. Who knows? Maybe these will end up in a project. It's not going to be a pan that palette type of palette for me because it is depotted. My intention is just to use these up one at a time. And this one is going to be a good candidate to go in a project just because it already has good usage on it. Now, this one is Odin's Eye. This is the Norns palette. I do currently have this in a project for No Pan Left Behind, which is why I have a Post-it on it. So while this is in a project, it is only just to use each of these shades once. And I have used most of them at least once, but there's a few that I still need to work on. So that is that one. Okay, we are winding down. We're getting closer to the end of the alphabet. I actually own 5 Too Faced palettes, but you already saw the depotted Too Faced Chocolate Bonbons palette, and these are the 4 that I have left that are still intact. I have the original Chocolate Bar palette, which has some usage, and 2 pans. I did not get this when it first came out. I did get it, I would say a couple years after it came out, and same with the Semi-Sweet. I have more pans and more usage in Semi-Sweet. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pans, and then some random usage here or there. I do have both of these palettes in a project currently just to hit pan on the remaining shades, except for the black. I don't remember which one has the black in it. It is the Semi-Sweet. So I'm attempting to hit pan on everything except for that black shade because I'm working on a black shade in another project. I am also working on the Love palette, but that is just for Puppy Love here, and that's for usage. So I only have a few more uses left on this shade, but I do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pans on that one. I actually really like this palette a whole lot. And then we have the Gingerbread Spice palette. I love this palette as well. It had a lot of love going on here. I have 3 shades finished, and everything else has pan in it. This was in my Battleship project pan. that I did with Dana and Amanda back in the day. And that is why I have pan in every single one of these. Love this palette. I love it a lot. All right, let me move these out of the way really quick. And then I am going to show you what else I have going on here. I have this one from Ulta Beauty. This was a gift with purchase. This has 6 shades in it. And yeah, I think when it comes time to pan this, it's going to go quick because those are pretty darn tiny. I have With Love Cosmetics, the natural one. This is currently in a project. And I have 3 matte shades and 6 glitters on this one. A lot of love on the glitters, not so much on the matte shades. And then last but certainly not least are my Naked palettes. I got this recently when it relaunched. So this is the Urban Decay Naked palette, the original. Little bit of usage, not a ton. And it's going to take forever. I am no Amber F. I cannot pan this all in 1 year. And then I have the Naked 2, or what's left of the Naked 2 here. I did originally have Naked 3, but I panned that one to completion. And oh, I forgot. For my Too Faced palettes, I do have another one. This is the Rock and Roll palette. What is left of the Rock and Roll palette right here. So that is my palettes. It's a lot. I have, let me tell you, I don't know if I even told you how many of these small palettes I have. My palettes that are 2 to 5 shadows, I have 20, and my 6 and up palettes, I own 53. I have a lot of palettes. I don't have a goal for my palettes. Again, eyeshadows, I don't necessarily have a goal. I know I have too much. I know that. You know that. We all know that. Compared to some people, I don't have a lot. And compared to other people, I have a ton. But for me, while I don't have a set goal, I know I have more than I realistically need. So I'm just going to continue working on everything. Hopefully I will get a palette or 2 done this year. A couple palettes maybe next year would be nice, and get these numbers down. Again, I don't know what number I want to get them to, but I do want to get them down. I do know that. I want to be able to use up some of my older stuff and really appreciate the newer stuff as it comes in, so I don't have things just sitting around. I am not in the market to buy anything right now. I want to use and love what I currently own and just, get some usage on that stuff. All right, that is everything for my inventory. This was crazy pants. It was a lot. It's going to take me forever to do the editing on this, but I'm glad it's over. The only thing I will have in regards to inventory coming up is a numbers video. I know some people are not into the numbers video, which is fine, but I will compare what I currently own as far as numbers to where it was at the beginning of the year. That is only going to be numbers. There's not going to be any pictures or anything like that. So if you're into the numbers and you want that comparison, I will have that coming up very soon. But for now, you have seen everything that I own, which I'm glad this is over. All right, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until I see you on my next video, have a beautiful day.